Yeah.
I call Stefan Browning.
We were getting our numbers mixed up there. We thought that was number 4. It was all of about 4 seconds long. I'm pleased to be getting up to speak to this bill, the Agricultural Chemicals and Veterinary Medicines Amendment Bill, particularly because I want to expose the issue that this bill, these amendments, are not needed. This bill is effectively one of the TPP bills. Howl you may. This is another one, just like the biologics one that's been leaked. The text has been leaked. That covers patents through to 8 years, and so does this. And there is no getting away from it that it is all tied up. This is about hiding the truth about the parts, the compounds inside agricultural compounds and veterinary medicines. This is about more chemicals, more carcinogens, more endocrine disruptors, more neurotoxins into the environment and into the public's food chain without them being able to look to see what is in there. It is already a problem. And I reflect on something I've talked about in this House before, the herbicide-tolerant Swedes. If I want to find out, or try to find out, what that seed is treated with, it's got 2 fungicides and an insecticide. I cannot find out. I'm pretty sure the insecticide will be a neonicotinoids. They don't deny that, but they won't tell us either. Why should the public not be able to know that? I'll pull out some stats. The ACVM Act came into force a good few years ago now, but since it's quite nicely basically started in 2001, and here we are 2015, so we slice it down the middle and we can see when the government came in. Since before National came in, there was 906 new products granted approval through that time. Since National have come in, there's been 1,100. It's been another couple of hundred over the 7 years. Well, look at how many chemicals have been withdrawn. So in that first period, 687 chemicals were withdrawn as 906 came in. Of course, there was quite a few in there to start with that were put into the Act, into the ACVM register rather. Since 2008, once National got in, only 239 have been withdrawn. 1,100 new ones, only 239 out. Only out of the total number of chemicals withdrawn since this Act came in 14 years ago, only a quarter of them have come out under National. And you're saying that you need
I'm not saying
more,
anything.
sorry, not the Speaker, the government is saying, I'm looking over here, Mr. Speaker, the government is saying that these companies, these traders of carcinogens, neurotoxins, endocrine disruptors and others, they need to have more protection. We need more of them in this country. Too many of my friends are dying from cancer. And which one of you over there hasn't had a relative or a friend come down with cancer in the last 12 months? It didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be like that. It is time we got rid of a lot of these chemicals and went to genuinely sustainable methods of production. And this morning at the Global Goals for Sustainable Development that a number of us were at, number 12, responsible consumption and production. There is nothing responsible about bringing in more and more unsustainable pesticides? None. And yes, I will speak about glyphosate. Glyphosate probably causes cancer. It is a carcinogen. The WHO has come out saying it's a probable carcinogen, but it is a carcinogen, and Monsanto knew that from the start. Glyphosate is genotoxic at sublethal concentrations. It's a hormone-damaging endocrine disruptor at very low levels. Infertility, birth defects, negative impacts on the reproductive system. Be embarrassed. Be embarrassed in the wine industry. If I fly over Marlborough at the moment, it will be a bit like 2007 when I measured accurately. 70% of the vineyard area, including headlands, was herbicided. Oh, and they call it sustainable wine growing. I'll carry on. What that herbicide does: contributes to digestive illness, gut disruption and nutrient deficiencies, can exert worrying effects on antibiotics, it's neurotoxic at sublethal concentrations, organ concerns, damages kidneys, beneficial insect populations get knocked around, including honeybees. The formulation, which of course is secret and is intended to be even more secret with this Act, is even more toxic than the principal ingredient glyphosate. The inerts are not inert. And groundwater? When have we been testing the groundwater for glyphosate? When have we been testing the milk in a way that can actually measure it? It doesn't happen. Is there a need for more herbicides? Well, in that time, in the first 7 years of this Act, until National got in, there was 194 new formulations granted. 194. Since National have come in, 269, effectively 270 different formulations of herbicides have been granted. There is no need to be ramping this up or making this more secret. Insecticides, 84 previously, 125 since National have come in. Oh, they need to help their big mates in corporate agribusiness and the chemical industry. And then they'll help their mates and they'll cover up, you watch, they'll cover up when the acts come through, the bills come through around the medicines, and they'll hide that information too. So that on one hand, you turn around and make people sick. This government is helping make people sick, and then you're going to protect the interests of the similar industry, quite often related, and make it a monopoly and difficult for consumers, for those needing health remedies, by covering up the information and giving them patents rights in terms of medicines. It is time that this country that's so soaking in pesticides, one of the highest users per capita in the world, actually set some pesticide reduction targets, not carried on pouring in more and more formulations. Another one that we're looking at closely, of course, are the neonicotinoid pesticides, those insecticides that are so insidious, that are throughout the environment, that we know affect bees. We need these things reassessed, and we need them withdrawn and moved to really sustainable production methods. We will be opposing this bill, Mr. Speaker. There's a lot of concerning stuff. I'm looking forward to dealing with it at Select Committee, and we will be bringing up some of these issues, and I'll be looking to the government to actually back off on some of the things they're asking for. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.